These three different things, a train track in Nigeria, a road in the Himalayas, and a harbor in Sri Lanka, are all connected to a huge plan called China's New Silk Road. This plan is enormous, with 2,600 smaller projects spread across more than 100 countries. It's a massive effort that costs a whopping $4 trillion and impacts about 69% of all people on Earth. Some people say it might be the largest and most expensive plan of its kind ever in human history. So, these seemingly unrelated projects are actually part of this major initiative to link countries and boost trade. China says it wants to improve worldwide trade, but there might be another agenda. On September 17, 2013, President Xi Jinping visited Astana, Kazakhstan, making it seem like a regular trip. However, it turned out to be a crucial moment. Jinping introduced a massive project, later called One Belt, One Road. This initiative aims to connect Asia, Europe, and Africa through infrastructure development like roads and ports. While China claims it's for global trade growth, some suspect geopolitical motives. In his speech in the capital of Kazakhstan, the speaker talked about Chinese traders who, many years ago, journeyed through the very land to trade silk worldwide. These traders navigated an ancient network of roads known as the Silk Road, connecting Asia and Europe. The historic Silk Road, stretching from Xi'an, China, to Rotterdam, the Netherlands, held the title of the world's longest trade route for centuries until maritime routes took over. Now, President Xi Jinping envisions reviving this historic trade route. He imagines a future Silk Road where China plays a central role. This declaration stirred waves globally, signaling China's ambition to emerge as the world's leading economy. The world was already aware of China's aspirations, but this proclamation underscored their serious intent to redefine global trade dynamics. President Xi Jinping's vision for a modern Silk Road captured the attention and curiosity of nations worldwide, sparking discussions about the potential impact on the global economic landscape. A month after that, on October 4, 2013, President Xi Jinping visited Jakarta, Indonesia. During this visit, he declared that he wasn't just making changes to the old Silk Road, but also to the new maritime Silk Road. What started as a project for Central Asia now included Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, the Middle East, and Africa. The grandness of the plan amazed the world because it was on a scale never seen before. People in the Silk Road countries celebrated Xi Jinping's announcements, but in the West, there was skepticism. China has been constructing and improving roads, railways, ports, airports, and power plants, among other things. The official explanation from China is that these infrastructure projects aim to enhance global trade and benefit the world economy. However, several Western nations are skeptical about this claim. To understand China's true motives, we can examine two specific examples. By closely analyzing these instances, we may gain insights into the underlying intentions behind China's extensive development initiatives in various sectors. The situation in Pakistan highlights the potential dangers of taking Chinese investments. Pakistan really needs to upgrade its transportation system because its current railway system is 150 years old and falling apart. The railways are in bad condition and can be risky for people traveling on them. This is where the One Belt, One Road initiative becomes helpful for Pakistan. Since Pakistan is located between China and the Arabian Sea, it makes sense for China to invest in Pakistan. This investment could create a new trade route and benefit both countries. It's important for Pakistan to weigh the advantages and risks of such investments carefully. In 2015, Xi Jinping, the leader of China, visited Pakistan and promised to invest $46 billion. He wanted to build a connection between Xinjiang, a region in western China, and Gwadar, a port in southern Pakistan. The main part of this investment is a big railway project. It includes 4 new railway lines across Pakistan. They want to make the current railway system better and twice as long. However, every investment has risks. This railway project has faced many problems. It has been delayed a lot because of design issues and not having enough resources. The economy of Pakistan is not doing well either. This makes people doubt if Pakistan can pay back the money to China. The railway project is already 4 years late. Pakistan is in a big economic crisis. They owe China more than $6 billion now. This is a really bad situation for Pakistan. Some people think it's not just bad luck, They believe China wanted Pakistan to get into debt on purpose. They think China did this to have more power over Pakistan. They point to what happened in Sri Lanka before. China gave a lot of money to Sri Lanka, and then Sri Lanka couldn't pay it back. This gave China more control over Sri Lanka. As part of China's One Belt, One Road initiative, they invested money in Sri Lanka's second-largest port, Hambantota. China started giving loans for this port project way back in 2008. However, by 2016, the port was facing financial losses, and Sri Lanka owed China a substantial $1.5 billion. To deal with this, the Sri Lankan government decided to make the port private and handed over a 100-year ownership to a company owned by the Chinese government. So, in essence, China now owns the port, raising concerns from the US Department of Defense about the possibility of China establishing a naval base there. Critics often describe the One Belt, One Road initiative as debt trap diplomacy, suggesting that China gains influence over countries by burdening them with debts. Sri Lanka and Pakistan are often cited as cautionary examples, but why do these nations choose loans from China over Western countries? The main reason is that China supposedly provides loans without imposing conditions. In contrast, Western countries usually tie their loans to requirements for social or democratic reforms. China's approach appears more lenient, but the real influence it gains is not just in infrastructure like ports, railways, or highways, but also in the international arena, particularly on the voting floor of the United Nations. China strategically utilizes its substantial investments in large-scale projects as a means to build alliances and wield influence on the global stage. By undertaking these massive initiatives, China aims to sway nations that might not traditionally align with its interests, particularly within the United Nations, UN. Despite the UN's principle of equal voting rights for all member countries, irrespective of their size, the reality is that securing support from multiple nations is crucial for China's diplomatic objectives. An illustrative example unfolded in 2020 during a crucial vote at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva regarding China's stringent national security law in Hong Kong. Surprisingly, 25 African countries sided with China, showcasing the effectiveness of China's investment-driven diplomacy. Conversely, when Western nations sought to condemn China for human rights violations later that year, no African countries appended their signatures to the rebuke. China's One Belt, One Road initiative, initially conceived as a revival of ancient trade routes, has evolved into a comprehensive term encapsulating Chinese foreign investments. In a noteworthy development in 2021, President Xi Jinping proposed an extension of this initiative, the Arctic Silk Road. The increasing accessibility of new shipping routes due to melting ice caps and the untapped reservoirs of oil and gas in the Arctic make this a significant and intriguing project. Nearly a decade after the significant announcement in Kazakhstan, China is facing new competition. In July 2022, the G7 introduced the Partnership for Global Infrastructure, a substantial $600 billion investment aimed at supporting development projects in less affluent nations. This move has added a layer of rivalry to the ongoing tensions between China and the United States, often likened to the Second Cold War in the 21st century. Interestingly, this contemporary battleground seems to center around financing projects and garnering international support. An unfortunate twist of fate lies in the fact that the Silk Road, originally intended to bring the East and West closer, may have unintentionally widened the gap between them. The ongoing initiative, One Belt, One Road, has sparked discussions about its impact. We invite you to share your thoughts on this matter in the comments below. This geopolitical shift highlights the changing dynamics of global influence and economic competition. The initiative by the G7 signifies a concerted effort to counterbalance China's influence in the realm of international development. As nations vie for strategic alliances and economic partnerships, the landscape of global cooperation appears to be evolving. It remains to be seen how these developments will shape the future and whether they will foster greater unity or contribute to further divisions. If you're interested in exploring more about similar projects and the evolving global landscape, consider subscribing for future updates.